Hey, welcome to Rational Funk. Man, I am so deeply honored today. Rational Funk, we are so honored to have one of the great drummers of the last 20, 25 years on the planet Earth. The great Jim Black is our guest tonight. Rational Funk here at the Winter Jazz Fest in New York City. Jim Black's home. Jim Black's a guy from Seattle where it rains and like Soundgarden and all those guys hang out.
All of them.
Right? And it's Jim Black here on Rational Funk. Jim, my good pal, man, I love seeing you so much, man.
Thanks for having me on your show. I've always wanted to.
So Jim is a really, I mean, if you don't know Jim's playing, which all of you do, I know, but if you don't, if you're stupid, if you're a fucking idiot and you don't know who Jim Black is, then there's not much we can do for you. But if you do, if you're a smart person, you know who Jim Black is. Jim's from like a fucking like expressive space. Jim's like the Jackson Pollock. He's like an abstract expressionist, man. He's like Pollock and de Kooning and all those macho, no, you're more of a feminine version of like de Kooning. Like all those abstract expressions, but you've got a lighter energy about you than Franz Klein, who drank himself to death. It's much more like Jim is a lighthearted fellow. So we want Jim to do some, you might notice that Jim does an interesting thing with his setup. He doesn't play with cymbals. And that's an interesting thing. I heard that you lost your endorsement, but we'll just keep it, because I don't want to call you out like that. I'm not competitive with you. We don't have any bad vibes. We've been great friends for many years.
For years.
First time that we met was 98, 97.
We toured together.
I like Jim so much. I'm not threatened by Jim.
No, not at all.
And so
I really like your no symbol concept.
Yeah. So Jim is into the no symbol idea. He lost his endorsement. I still have mine with Zildjian. But anyway, the point is Jim's gonna play some of that badass Jim Black shit right now, where it's like, who knows what's gonna happen?
Right.
Because Jim is one of those guys that does shit that is sort of like, I'm over here, and then all of a sudden I'm over here, and then I'm over here, and I play the whole kit's an orchestra for you, Jim's, right?
Especially the way you've tuned this.
Yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, just give it up to one of the greats of all time. He's gonna play some brushes tonight.
You want brushes?
Yeah, Jim's gonna play some brushes. Give us some of that Philly Joe shit, but then how you mix it up and make it super avant-garde, man.
Okay.
Jim Black.
All right. How fast?
Do that Jim Black shit.
Right.
You see what I mean about how Jim plays? He does a thing where it's like, you don't know what's gonna happen. Sometimes he doesn't even fucking play he plays the air. It's like sculpture. Because with sculpture,
I was playing.
No, it sounded great. Do some more of that Jim Black shit. But it's like sculpture.
It's quiet.
When you think of sculpture,
It's
Jim, hang on a
quiet.
second. When you think about sculpture, it's like the space around the sculpture is really what's important. It's not the sculpture. You don't be a fucking square and look at the sculpture. Look at the space around the sculpture. Go, Jim.
Okay.
We love Jim here on Rational Funk because some of the stuff that Jim does, this is an example of Jim's concept where it's orchestral, it's textural.
I got a call.
There isn't. You want to take your call?
No, I did it.
Jim doesn't play a lot of what you'd call time, but I mean everything else. No, it's time like quantum, like it's some math.
Like you said, Pollock-like.
Yeah, exactly. It's Pollock-like. Jim paints pictures with the drums. He's not concerned with square shit like time and good feel. Okay, Jim, do some more shit.
Okay.
This is an avant-garde technique I've seen Jim do a few times. Everyone should be paying attention to this. Jim, come back. Jim Black's my good friend. I don't feel any competition with Jim. When he's doing all this super out shit that no one understands but him, I don't question it because Jim went to music school. He's got a degree. It's almost like a doctor practicing some super ethereal, esoteric, healings, but they went to Harvard Med. You know what I mean? And that's my man. Right, Jim? Yeah.
Jim Black on Rational Funk, everyone.
Stay tuned for next week's episode when I'll be back playing some of the more avant-garde techniques that Jim, like I said, more rooted in like a Philly Joe type concept. Okay, thanks a lot, Jim.